Can mental illnesses be treated? That is our topic of discussion today. So welcome to my YouTube channel. Kindly like and subscribe so that you can get information as I post it. So today I would like us to know more about these mental illnesses and whether they can be cured, whether they can be treated, or they can be managed. And the answer is yes, mental illnesses can be managed and they can be treated, but they cannot be cured. So when I'm talking about mental illnesses, these are the diseases or illnesses that they affect the way we think as a person, the way you behave, and also the way you feel. So meaning that those three areas of our lives, our behaviors, our cognitive aspect, and also in terms of our feelings and emotions, then will be affected. So you need to know that these mental illnesses are caused by many factors or many causes, is not just one. And we talk about family genetics, inheritance, whereby now these are genes which are passed from one generation to the other. If someone maybe in the family in the first generation was suffering from maybe depression, bipolar mood disorder, eating disorders, maybe it is likely to be passed through the generation and the generation after. So genetics or genes, they play a very major role in causes of these mental illnesses. We also talk about drug and alcohol abuse. So those people who abuse drugs, those people who use alcohol, they are likely to develop mental illnesses, especially now in terms of their moods and also the way they also behave. And also, so when you're talking about substance and abuse, it is whereby now we also talk about induced psychosis. When someone is under the influence of alcohol or other drugs, they start behaving like mad people in quotes, and that's why now we talk about psychosis, which is induced by substances. And this psychosis, if it lasts for long, then it becomes a permanent condition. So you no longer have induced psychosis or induced mood disorders. Another cause of these mental illnesses, we talk about brain chemistry, how people or how a person is wired. Also, we talk about environment, we talk about traumatic experiences people experience while they were growing up. And this one we are likely to see it when we're talking about environment and also childhood experiences, neglect, and also maybe someone experienced a traumatic experience. Now failure to process or manage this traumatic experience, then now you are likely to develop a condition we call post-traumatic stress disorder. Then the last one now, we talk about brain chemistry. I think that one I've talked about. So we need also to know the signs and symptoms of this the signs and symptoms of these mental illnesses. We talk about hallucinations, and when we're talking about hallucinations, it is whereby now we say our five senses are affected. So you are likely to experience hallucinations according to our five senses: the sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of sight, and also hearing, and also tactile, whereby now you are able now to start experiencing like things are crawling over your body. You start hearing people, and we call them auditory hallucinations. About the touch you feel, we call them tactile hallucination. You feel like there are animals, they are crawling over your body. Then about the smell now, smelling things, like you start smelling like you feel maybe in an environment whereby it's just a good environment, then you start saying that you feel the place is smelling like a mortuary. So you definitely, in terms of how your sense of smell you are supposed to interpret and perceive things, it is also affected. Also, you start seeing people. You start telling us there are people who are coming. You start telling us you can't see those people. And where we are seated, where we are, there are no people we are seeing there. So definitely you are experiencing those hallucinations. Then the other common factors, because there are two hallucinations and also delusions. Delusion is that now you start believing in the things that are not true. According to you, you feel they are true, but when you interpret them in the real world or in reality, then it is not true. Yeah, so having known these causes and also the signs and symptoms of these mental illnesses, and earlier on in the previous or in the other psychoeducation video whereby I was psychoeducating more about these mental illnesses, we talked about them, and we talked about eating disorders, we talked about schizophrenic disorders or schizophrenia disorders. We also talked about bipolar mood disorders. And when you're talking about bipolar mood disorders, it is whereby now we say that there are two types of bipolar. One which we talk about someone is experiencing depressive episodes, and the other one we talk about manic, when this person is all over. Then we're also talking about something called neurodevelopmental disorders. And when we're talking about neurodevelopmental disorders, they happen as we develop. We usually acquire milestone at different stages. So you find that maybe we get fixated, or maybe something has not developed well, and that's why now you find some people, they are diagnosed with neurodevelopmental disorders. Also, we also talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. Like those people, they are likely to re-experience, like maybe someone, a soldier who has witnessed maybe people being killed, and maybe there was loud bang and all that all over. Then when you associate, maybe you are somewhere, you are likely to associate the sound you've heard with the one you experienced before. So now you want to take cover among others. So that is what we call a post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, so now having known all that, then is there hope that this mental illness, they can be treated? Mental illness, yes, they can be treated, they are manageable, but now this is they are long life conditions that you have to deal with. So for you to be able to manage this condition, what are you supposed to do? And once you experience some of the signs and symptoms, eating patterns are not good, sleeping patterns are not good, in terms of hallucinations and delusions, yeah, so you need to seek a medical or professional, whereby now you are taken through, you are assessed by psychiatrist and also psychologist. But yes, they assess you. You are told that you have a mental condition. You are told you have a stress-related condition. So how are you supposed now to manage this condition? It is you as a person to understand that you have a condition, and this condition, it is ABCD. My condition is schizophrenia. Now, because I know my condition is schizophrenia, I need to be aware of my condition. I need to accept that I have this condition, because acceptance is the first process to healing. So you need to understand that you need to accept that I've been diagnosed with this condition, and get to know more about this condition. How does it look like? Will I be okay? Will I be normal? Will I function like other people and all that? Because those are the major concerns. Like, yes, I've been told I have bipolar. So is that the end of my life? No. It's just a condition like any other. It is just like malaria, whereby you are given and malaria tabs and you swallow them and everything is okay, because you've accepted and acknowledged that you have malaria. The same thing with these mental conditions, that you yourself, you have been diagnosed with bipolar mood disorder. So yes, I know that I have this condition. So awareness, understanding, that is the key thing, that I have this condition. Then these are the do's, these are the don'ts. When I have a mental condition, no way I can be having bipolar, then now I go and use alcohol. That is what we call self-medicating. Now these signs and symptoms, when they start getting worse, you'd like to numb them. And how will you numb them? When you use alcohol, when you use other substances like maybe heroin, cocaine, you feel the signs and symptoms, they've disappeared. So definitely you feel good. So that is like something you are likely to to abuse, for you not to feel those signs and symptoms, but you don't know whether you are worsening. Whatever you are doing using alcohol and other drugs, you are worsening your condition. So what you need to know that you've been diagnosed with this condition, acceptance is very key. I am aware this is a condition that I've been diagnosed with. You get to know it better by going for therapy sessions, by doing even research online and getting to come to terms that this is a condition. Then you adhere to medication. So there are 2 or 3 ways of managing this condition. Number 1, we talk about medication, and medication is whereby now you are prescribed medication that you are supposed to be using. Either it is antipsychotic drugs, you swallow them the way the doctor has told you are supposed to swallow them. And if it is now maybe mood stabilizers, you ensure that you follow the way it has been prescribed. So the medication, it will help you to manage your signs and symptoms. Management number 2, it is counseling or psychotherapy, whereby you see a therapist or a psychologist. This person takes you through what you are supposed, like how does this condition look like, what are the signs and symptoms of this condition, what is likely to happen to you if you don't adhere to medication and all that. This person helps you. Then management number 3, it is whereby the 2 interventions are combined together. You are taking medication, and also you are also going through therapy sessions. So don't feel that this condition, once you've diagnosed with this condition, they are life sentences. No, they are not. You are able to function normally just like any other person.